On this edition of Good Day DePaul, service problems on the CTA, DePaul reacts.
The inauguration of DePaul President Robert Manuel.
And DePaul men's basketball, a new season starts with hopes for a turnaround. I'm Shadan Gomez.
And I'm Sayla Estelle. And this is Good Day DePaul.
It's been a frustrating fall quarter for DePaul students who commute on the CTA between the two campuses. The problem? Trains that are late or don't run at all. Now, as I found out, the CTA says it's been doing something about this problem.
Chicago's public transportation, the CTA, is one of the country's largest transit systems. However, some of its service has received a new nickname, ghost buses or trains, meaning they often arrive late or never come at all. Commuters started noticing problems with CTA service back in April, according to Morgan Mataram, the policy advocate of a group called Commuters Take Action.
We're all pretty fed up with the number of ghost trains and buses and lack of service and waiting at the train and the bus stops for so long and not seeing any improvements and not hearing from the CTA a clear and accurate plan of how they were going to fix this, and just seeing things, the CTA say, well, this is how it is now, and becoming kind of frustrated with that.
Bus and train trackers are often inaccurate and unreliable. The CTA online tracker will say the train or bus will be arriving soon, but suddenly disappear. And this is directly affecting many DePaul students. In the fall of last year, 83% of those students lived off campus, with many using the CTA to get to classes. But they too have experienced those ghost trains and buses, and it's impacted both their academics and work life.
And I will admit sometimes I do have to wait a little bit, it won't be on time, things like that. Definitely causes problems within class scheduling and depending on your teacher too, if they are more acceptable of that. So
if I got off work at 10, CTA trains usually 15-minute intervals instead of 5 or 10. And it's even been as late as 35 minutes before. Yeah, it's usually just inconvenience and more annoying than anything, and it's almost not worth taking public transportation sometimes.
Good Day DePaul requested an interview with CTA President Dorval Carter Jr., but he was unavailable. The CTA provided us with this statement, quote, CTA is aware of and working to address service reliability across the bus and rail network. Unfortunately, the unreliability of overall transit services is directly correlated with a shortage of bus and rail operators, a nationwide issue not only impacting public transit agencies like the CTA, but also other industries requiring commercial drivers such as school buses, delivery services, and other commercial entities. The statement went on to say, quote, CTA recently revised its rail schedules to better reflect the currently available workforce. Not only will the new rail schedules provide more consistent, reliable service, it will help reduce instances of ghost trains, as the information on the trackers is based on the new, more reliable schedules. DePaul professor Joseph Schwederman, a transportation expert, says ghost buses and trains can really hurt people who need to get to their jobs.
I come in the office 15 minutes late. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference. I have a job that's on my own schedule. I can make up the time at night by staying a little later. With somebody on essential service, working at a hotel, cleaning rooms, at a restaurant, those kind of jobs, you're late and you're docked and you can lose your job pretty quick. And those are the people that don't have the option just to say, oh, this bus is not coming, I'm going to hop an Uber. They're stuck. It's the source of great frustration and economic loss for a lot of people.
Schwederman says that because of the CTA's problems, other forms of transportation are becoming more popular.
We're seeing lately the numbers for scooters and e-bikes and divvy bikes really be strong, and no doubt that to some extent that's a reaction to CTA, especially for really short trips. So if you're going to go 8 blocks, do I go down to the red line and deal with either unpredictability or a sense of lack of safety at certain times of day, or just hop on a bike? And that's having some effects on ridership that may only grow worse.
The consumer group Commuters Take Action built a system to measure how many trains and buses ran on time. In a recent week, the percentage of trains that ran on time averaged about 65%. The group says it's not blaming CTA employees, but instead CTA management, and wants to continue to put pressure on them.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly hope it gets better. I know it's not an easy fix or a fast fix, and we're not asking the CTA for that, but we are asking for a clear plan. We would love to see more transparency, at least while the CTA is working on this.
For Good Day DePaul, Shaden Gomez.
The University of Chicago says it's received multiple reports of drinks being spiked with drugs at student parties. The university revealed this to students in an email on November 3rd. Since September, the university says it's received 7 reports from students who feel drugs may have been put in their drinks by unknown individuals. In one case, the university says a student reported being sexually assaulted in a residence hall after having one of those drinks. The university says it knows students will gather together, but recommends that partygoers only drink from sealed containers and not punch bowls or open cups.
On November 11th, DePaul President Robert Manuel was inaugurated as the university's 13th president. The ceremony was held at the Holt Schneider Performance Center on the Lincoln Park campus and also live streamed to the DePaul community. Following the inauguration, a celebration was held at the McGrath Phillips Arena.
The DePaul School of Music has a new interim dean. He is Dana Hall, a faculty member since 2012, and also an award-winning band leader, composer, and musician. The former dean of School of Music, Ronald Catalbiano, stepped down in September.
It's called Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead, and it's an important Mexican holiday. Here in Chicago, it was recently celebrated at the city's National Museum of Mexican Art. Good Day DePaul Stefania Rodriguez was there.
In this Day of the Dead event, the National Museum of Mexican Art in the city's Southwest Pilsen neighborhood provides a space for community members to take part in traditions and display their own altars for their deceased loved ones. The Day of the Dead is not a day meant for people to be sad or grieving those who've passed. It's a day to celebrate them and invite their spirit back to the living world.
It's not really about mourning, it's about celebrating them as if they're still here. There's no dark colors, like here it's all bright, it's all vibrant.
Every year, the museum reserves a spot for DePaul Latin American history professor Juan Mora Torres and a group of his students.
Every year, my class, Latino Immigrants of Chicago, has an altar for the Day of the Dead. This has got to be maybe the 4th or 5th time we have done it.
Torres gives his students creative freedom and lets them choose who to honor in the altar. This year, the students chose the children killed in the Uvalde Robb Elementary shooting.
The idea is a day that the Day of the be used as a day of remembrance.
The Day of the Dead event has only grown since its first year, as more people become familiarized with the holiday's significance. This is in part thanks to pop culture references like in Disney's famous Coco movie, which featured the holiday's traditions. The museum's gallery education coordinator, Mario Hernandez, says he noticed the higher demand from people to participate in this year's event.
Typically, I get about 100 registrations or so within 3 weeks of when we open the registration. This year we had about that many within 2.5 days. I can only assume that obviously the last couple of years really kind of push people or encourage people to appreciate life a little bit more, I think, and take part in celebrations like this one, you know, where we can mourn the loss of our loved ones and at the same time celebrate them.
As the Day of the Dead continues to gain popularity, celebrations become livelier and more people have a way to remember their loved ones. For Good Day DePaul, Stefania Rodriguez.
Coming up, the DePaul men's basketball team opens its season.
The story when Good Day DePaul returns.
2004 Skateboard Championship.
High school, moped.
What about you, Slim? Anything?
Something.
Looks like Slim's got a little paper cut.
It's nothing.
Come on, man. You know I'm gonna make you tell me.
Hey, kidney transplant.
When, dude? I didn't know you were sick.
I was donating it.
Someone in your family?
You gave your kidney to a complete stranger?
Yeah, saved his life.
Wow. All right.
Everyone can save a life by being a living organ donor on matchingdonors.com.
The DePaul men's basketball season is now underway, and once again, there's hope that the Blue Demons will return to national prominence. Good Day DePaul's Alyssa Gomez has details.
The weather may be getting cooler, but here at Wintrust Arena, Blue Demon basketball is just heating up. This year, DePaul Athletics has revamped the game day experience in hopes of bringing more fans than ever out to Wintrust Arena for both men and women's basketball games. Some new elements of game days include a variety of promotions, such as poster and rally towel giveaways, pyrotechnics at every home game, and a pregame immersive light show that fans can actually participate in via the DePaul Blue Demons app. Some of the students who attended the opening game against Loyola Maryland were excited about these changes.
I think it's going to be really entertaining and make just the atmosphere at the game even more exciting, and hopefully that will amp up the environment for them too and make it a very fun game.
And some fans were hopeful that the Blue Demons will start winning more games.
I'm really excited to see how they're going to do this year. Really excited for them, yeah.
You know, our coach has got a little experience under his belt now, being coming new to like the team, and they're putting in a lot of hard work, so hopefully we can see it pay off.
With the new season comes new opportunities to create a one-of-a-kind game day experience. Fans can now purchase unique opportunities such as attending a post-game conference, an in-game video screen, and, my personal favorite, a visit from Dibs. Even DePaul President Robert Manuel stopped by to share his excitement about the upcoming season.
I'm a huge Big East basketball fan. When I came here, I was excited for the season. Having met the players and Coach Stubblefield and seeing the vision that the department has, I am super excited to be here on the first day.
And much of that vision comes from Athletic Director Dwayne Peavy. Having been at DePaul for 2 years now, Peavy has helped to reimagine these game days to bring the community together.
I think the biggest thing is, we're trying to make it entertaining. So if you take your time, you come down here, not only are we worried about getting a win on the court, we want you to have fun doing it. Be with your friends, your loved ones, your family, kids if you're adults. Just to have a good experience. And I think we're adding to that and letting the fans tell us what's important to them.
The Demons came out strong with a 72-66 win over Loyola Maryland. Javon Johnson led the pack with 24 points and 10 rebounds. Only time will tell how the rest of the season will play out, but nevertheless, Wintrust Arena is ready to welcome back the Blue Demons. For Good Day DePaul, I'm Alyssa Gomez.
The DePaul men's soccer team season is over. The Blue Demons finished with a 3-3 tie against Villanova. Their final season's record was 4-6-7 overall and 1-4-5 in the Big East. But the team got one final bit of good news. Defender Jake Fuderer was recently named Big East Defender of the Week.
The DePaul women's soccer team had a tough year, finishing with a 3-12-1 record. But they also got some good news at the end of the season. Sophomore Katie Godden from England was named to the All-Big East first team. Godden had 7 goals on the season, tying her for most goals in the conference.
In volleyball, DePaul won 2 in a row, beating Villanova and Georgetown. The Blue Demons are now 9-17 on the season. And more good news for the team. Outside hitter Jill Presley was recently named Big East Offensive Player of the Week.
Coming up, DePaul heads into winter break.
Details when we return.
Today, the heroes that fight day in and day out on the front lines. Those who are there, innovating in real time, saving lives and answering the call to care in times of crisis. American nurses. Nurses who have been there for each and every one of us in times of crisis for more than 150 years. Nurses are the pillar of strength and the foundation of healthcare and life itself. Nurses are there the day we are born. They are there when your family is in crisis, and they are there in the end. In confronting the most catastrophic health crisis in modern history, we must remember our American nurse heroes need our support as much as we need them. To show our gratitude for their courage and ensure they receive the critical education and support services they need, donate to the Coronavirus Response Fund for Nurses today, in honor of your American nurse hero.
This is our last newscast of the fall quarter, a quarter that's been eventful at DePaul. We've been introduced to the university's new president, Robert Manuel. DePaul continues to move closer to normalcy, even though COVID-19 is still with us, and we've just completed one of the most consequential midterm elections in our nation's history. We hope all of you have a great break, and we'll see you again in January. Thanks for watching. I'm Sayla Estelle.
And I'm Shaden Gomez. Have a good day, DePaul.